My name is Andrew Adams. I'm running for Omaha City Council, District 4. Yeah, born and raised in Omaha. I'm an Omaha Bryan grad. It's been a few years now, 2001. My wife is an Omaha Gross grad, so we've got this community in our bones. All our kids go to OPS schools in the district, so, well, one's just outside the district, but yeah, fourth generation South Omaha family. I like to tell everyone that we're only about 4 blocks away from where my great-grandparents lived. My grandmother lived just a few blocks down the street, and my aunt still lives about 2 blocks away from us. So we've kind of nestled into our neighborhood, and our family stuck around. Yeah, so for me, you know, it's a great place to raise a family. If you want to have all the amenities of big city life but still feel like you're in a small town, Omaha's the place for you. I love that we have 3 kids. I love that all of them can just run up and down our neighborhood, and the small town values of you know, parents looking out for kids running around the street, and everybody looking out for one another, everybody trying to lift one another up. I think that's one of the best things about living in Omaha. So yeah, unfortunately, District 4, South Omaha, has had to learn the hard way from our previous elected official that who had some legal issues, and then the appointment process was really kind of just kind of compounded frustrations in the community. It kind of felt like it just didn't feel transparent. Didn't feel like a good deal for the constituents of District 4. So rather than just sit on my couch and complain about it, you know, my wife said, you know, I better go do something. So I decided to run, got all charged up, started talking to neighbors, and you know, they gave me encouragement, gave me support, and that brought me here today. Yeah, so I like to tell everyone when I go, like if I go knock on doors or something, when you open up your front door and you look out, the city council handles everything that's right in your purview, right there. Whether it's waste management, whether it's law enforcement, street maintenance, public works, infrastructure, these types of things. All the things that really affect your community in your immediate area, those are the things that the city council has a hand in. So my biggest issues right now is bringing prosperity to South Omaha. And I think to qualify that answer, we have to have safe neighborhoods first. Safe neighborhoods lead to prosperous neighborhoods. And we have a generational opportunity in my district with investment coming from American Rescue Plan dollars, CARES Act dollars, that the state legislature has earmarked for South Omaha. We're having a generational investment in parks up and down 24th Street, Plaza de la Raza, Global Market. These things are going to be magnets for young families like my own to come to town, build their life around these communities, and reverse the brain drain in Omaha and in Nebraska. I think they'll be, like I said, I think they'll be magnets for entrepreneurs, families. I think the sky's the limit. Yeah, so again, safe neighborhoods I think is going to be probably top priority. I am concerned about retaining and attracting uniformed police officers. You know, we're fortunate as a city right now that violent crime is down, property crime is down. I get concerned though if we start to see upticks, are we going to have the resources available to kind of stem that tide? But policing is much more about, it's not only about uniformed police officers. I want to see mental health crisis officers available, and I want to really be an advocate for youth services, making sure that we are getting ahead of these types of issues before they turn it, before somebody, you know, before one of our youngsters gets entangled with the legal system. All the candidates in this race, mayoral, all the city council districts, they love to talk about affordable housing. None of them will tell you what that means, though. So I'd like to define what affordable housing is to me. Right now in the state of Nebraska, minimum wage is about $13.50 an hour. If you extrapolate that over the course of the year, or course of a month, That's about $2,200 a month, you know, with taxes and all that sort of thing. Price per square foot for apartments or rentals is about anywhere from $1.30 to $2 and change. So if you have a 750 square foot apartment, you're looking at $1,500 a month. That means we have way too many families in Omaha spending 50, 60, 70 or more % of their monthly income on affordable housing. That's just not sustainable for most families. So to get around affordable housing, or to build the market for affordable housing, because there is no market for affordable housing, we need to find a way to bring one about. I think affordable housing should be written into tax increment financing proposals, to where, you know, we're having mixed market housing, you know, some higher end, some market rate, some affordable housing, where, you know, people are paying the lower end of that price per square foot, where we have, you know, somebody who's paying, you know, $700, $800 a month for a apartment. You know, I think that's more achievable than some of the price points that the market has set right now. So affordable housing can be brought about if the city council has the vision to help move the incentive program in that direction. When I'm elected, I want to work with the chief of police to make sure that we're getting officers out of their vehicles and in the community. You know, I do want to see more officers, retain the officers that we have, attract new ones, but with emphasis on folks who are going to help us tackle the challenge of mental health crises in the city of Omaha. Because I mentioned COVID, you know, it's still kind of one of the most underreported stories. There is a mental health epidemic, really, across the nation, across our state and city. Folks are, you know, still reeling in a lot of cases, and I want to make sure that we're not that we have a variety of tools in the toolbox to make sure that we're handling policing with compassion and being visible in neighborhoods. So South Omaha in particular has a tremendous opportunity. We are a blank canvas in big chunks of the district. We have an opportunity to really infill, to revitalize some older, dilapidated neighborhoods, and I will be a champion for that. I am not a big proponent of our relentless urban sprawl, this perpetual building out westbound that you know, our municipal resources can't keep up with, and it's not forward thinking as far as environmental concerns go. So I want to look to infill some of these areas in South Omaha, particularly, you know, the 60th and Q Street area. I think there's opportunity, you know, to kind of build a family-friendly atmosphere around those parts. You know, we talked about the 24th Street corridor. There are so many opportunities for small and entrepreneurial businesses to emerge in the 24th Street Historical Business District that I see, you know, places like Benson, places like Blackstone. We could have the same kind of nightlife on the 24th Street corridor as well. And I want to see housing brought into the area, but also you know, supporting these small and entrepreneurial businesses. Yeah, so if a council member is willing to listen to their constituents, you know, they'll tell you. They'll tell you how they want to introduce themselves to the market, and we need to find a way. You know, we do a lot of tax incentives up and down Dodge Street. Let's find a way to bring some of those incentives to L Street or to 24th Street, like I said. You know, if you're willing to sit down, listen to what the market has to tell you, who wants to come to, who wants to start their business, fire up their business, who wants to invest in the community, and then find a way to give them a leg up. I think that's the best thing a city council member can do. Yeah, so the big issue in the district right now is, well, there's more than a few, but the big environmental issue that we're talking to a lot of folks about is the car shredder off of 60th and Q, like I mentioned. People are concerned. They're already there's already a landfill in the area. There's already trash piling up and down 60th Street, and then introducing a car shredder where the business doesn't have the best track record for being forthcoming with the community is important. People are concerned about air quality issues, pollution into the Papio Creek water table. I'm proud that I was endorsed by the Sierra Club, and one of the reasons that I think they chose me is for my stance on putting a green belt on the city of Omaha. Trying to maintain the agricultural space we have out west and building in the city. And unfortunately, I don't know, those the particulates from the coal plant, they don't just stay in District 2, right? They travel all over the city. We also have a cement crushing facility that's right off Martha Street that folks are concerned about dust, and they're not sure what's in the air they're breathing. So being a good steward of the environment is important. Working with businesses, but making sure they're accountable to the health and peace and concerns of residents is important. That might be the question of this election. So there's a couple things that I want to do to improve transparency. I want to start first by acknowledging that the city of Omaha has been growing for generations, and I no longer believe 7 council members is an appropriate number to keep constituent services at a high level. I will be pushing for expanding the city council, working with the state legislature if necessary to add 2 more seats and make it a 9-person council. I mentioned the state legislature. They do something, they hold their committee meetings much better. They have a much better system of inviting the public in. They have online comments, so you can make comments as a proponent, as an opponent, or neutral. And there's nothing like that available to residents or across the city of Omaha for the city council agenda. I want to try to incorporate something like that so that, and make sure that those comments are read into the record at city council meetings, or at least a summary of them. So expanding to 9, adding more comments, and then making sure that, as the councilman, I want to make sure that I'm far more approachable. One of the most frustrating things about being a resident in District 4 is all the hoops you have to jump through to get a hold of your representative at the Civic Center. There's too many barriers between constituents and their representative. We need to find a way to make that more fluid. People need to be able to get in touch with the people that they elected when issues come up across their city. Yeah, so I'll start by saying that my father was a licensed mental health professional for his entire career. We are in the month of May. May is Mental Health Awareness Month, so I encourage everybody to go check out some of the activities we have in the city as far as shining a light on mental health. I think the most important thing we need to do is youth services. I think that is the missing component for for a lot of my community and across the city. I'm encouraged that the PACE program is back on its feet and recovered from its issues. I want to see that expanded to possibly include, tutoring services for kids who might be struggling at school. I think there's opportunities to work within the framework of what we have to expand youth services. I want to make sure that we're not just forgetting about kids after the school bell rings at 3:15 or wherever. So youth services is important, and then we need to be acutely aware that that our jails, our prisons, are not mental health facilities, but they've been treated that way for far too long. We need to find a way to. I mentioned having crisis intervention officers working with the police department to make sure that we have those available, or those individuals available throughout the shifts. I think that's important. I think that's how we prevent misunderstandings, which could have really unfortunate consequences. Yeah. So there's certainly a learning curve about dealing with the city budgets. It's half a $1 billion some budget. But anyway, I think where I want to see the majority of resources to go is to. We talked about public safety, but we have all these bonds that have been passed by the voters to to improve infrastructure, streets in particular. We really need to start getting ahead of the curve as far as our infrastructure goes. So as far as individual line items, no, I don't really have any particular line items that come to mind, but priorities I think are important. So safe neighborhoods, safe and well-maintained streets is the other. So, and then doing what we can to bring about investment as far as tax increment financing for affordable housing, and I like to think of they're kind of forgotten issues, but my 3 Ps: parks, potholes, and property taxes. We've really kind of let some of our parks go. And I think having spaces like that are very important because, people want to be able to go and congregate with their neighbors, spend some time where they don't have to spend a bunch of money, but where their kids can go, they can play, and, they can feel safe, and, then they can have their quality of life. My take on public transportation is all pretty well documented, easy to find online. And what I've told everybody that I've talked to, whether I'm knocking on their door, speaking with them on the phone, or just bumping into them on the street, if you show me a city that's not investing in transit and finding ways to efficiently move people about their lives, to their jobs, to schools, to their health, to healthcare. If you show me a city that's not investing in these opportunities, I'll show you a city that's dying, or certainly not reaching its potential. We have a District 4 is a very diverse district economically, ethnically, socially. I mean, there's a lot of boxes to check, but one of the things I run into wherever I go is that we have communities that just struggle to get to jobs or find transportation to their communities. I'm really encouraged by some of the things that the Regional Metropolitan Transit Authority is doing with microtransit. I hope to see that program succeed and supported by the City Council any way that we can. Great question. And we have so many amenities in District 4 in South Omaha. My kid is, I got a 6-year-old who loves trains, so we like to go to Kennefic Park. My wife is an enthusiastic gardener. She loves having Lawrence and Gardens in our district. Of course, we have the zoo. We have all these great amenities in South Omaha, and we're going to complement them now with Plaza de la Raza, Global Market, and all this other generational investment that we've talked about, from the American Rescue Plan dollars, the CARES Act dollars, and what's been allotted by the state legislature to come to North and South Omaha. So yeah, I think we have a vibrant arts district. I love that some of the best restaurants in Omaha are in South Omaha, certainly. My wife and I love to go down 24th Street, just north of the high school. There's like a little makeshift restaurant mall area where you can find food trucks that serve some of the best best food in the city.
I've been there, brother.
Yeah. So I mean, there's a lot of like I said, there's a lot of social opportunities, a lot of amenities in this district, and I just can't wait to keep adding to it. I don't know how we got here. A few national figures want to score points, and somehow this has become like a localized issue. But people are concerned. I celebrate the diversity of our district. I want to be inclusive. I want people to, I don't care what your background is. If you want to come to my district and start a business, I will greet you with open arms. As far as municipal positions go, we need to remember that the United States of America is the great melting pot. We are a prosperous country because we are an innovative country. We are innovative because we are diverse, and because if you have the drive, you can make it here. And if you play within the rules, there's the sky's the limit as far as prosperity goes in this community. I think having DEI policies makes the city of Omaha a stronger institution. And I want to qualify that by saying I've knocked 7,000 doors in the district. I've knocked doors on 90th Street, and I've knocked doors on 9th Street, and everywhere in between. I'm proud that I'm endorsed by community leaders like State Senator Margo Juarez, Douglas County Commissioner Roger Garcia, Regional Metropolitan Transit Authority Director Inira Garcia, my former opponent, who's now my amigo, Jonathan Renteria, and more. OPS Board President Kimera Snipes, former U.S. Marshal Mark Martinez. I mean, all these folks are aligning behind my campaign because they know that I'm inviting, that the door will always be open, so to say. I keep an open mind about any issue that comes before me, and I try to let the best argument win. And I think, while I may not, while voters or while constituents may not agree with me on 100% of the issues that come before the city council, they at least know that I'm going to be straight with them. And they know that even if we disagree on this one issue, the next issue that comes up, I'm ready to be in your corner. I'm ready to be your champion. Yeah, so we kind of started the interview this way, but I should have qualified when you asked the most important or what the first priority was. I want to kind of tweak that answer a little bit because I think it's actually trust. We can't talk about safe neighborhoods. We can't talk about affordable housing or infrastructure unless we know that we have somebody at the Civic Center representing District 4 who is trustworthy. We need somebody who's transparent, like we've talked about, and accountable. Because, like I said, I've talked to voters all over the district, and they tell me the same thing. Doesn't matter where I go, that they feel their voice isn't being heard, and most of them are ready for a change, and they want somebody who is going to share their values, this strong South Omaha values of family and community. They want somebody who's going to be a partner and not making closed door deals. And they want somebody who's going to be honest. And that's because they have to, given our experience with our previously elected city council member. We've had to learn the hard way that our interests aren't going to be protected by anyone who doesn't have these values. So I feel my campaign, my candidacy is building a bunch of momentum right as we approach the finish line here. I've tried to use this as an opportunity to be an example for my children. I want to teach them to live great big lives by accumulating small acts of service. And I think, while running for city council might not be a small act of service, I mean, it's something to let the community know that I'm here, I'm your neighbor, and I want to help tackle these issues, right by your side. I'll be by your side, in your corner.